Hey everyone, Leo here, and today I'll be making a video for the Mana Weavers Association channel. I'll be going over my deck list that I've been brewing for FTC, and I'll be naming it Battery Acid Rai. So, what is Battery Acid Rai, you may ask? Battery Acid Rai is a Water Rai deck list that is featured to be a control deck archetype that I've been brewing ever since the OA came out and ever since I started playing the game. I really like the idea of being able to cast a lot of spells, and also being able to kind of control the board as well as playing the water archetype. So as you may have seen, I've been posting my lists and also posting some discussion with other people in decklist discussions, as you can see here, and kind of just tinkering with ideas since FTC just came out. New cards are out, a lot of new supports out for water, so what a perfect time than to come up with a new deck list. So enough with the introductions, let's go ahead and get right into the deck list. So for our material deck, we're going to go over our champions very quickly. We'll be using the Spirit of Water as it being a water deck. We'll be also using the Rai lineage, so Rai Spellcrafter, Rai Archmage, and we're going to be using Rai Mana Weaver. Now you may be asking yourself, Leo, why are we playing Rai Mana Weaver when Stormseer is obviously the better option? So we'll get back to that later, so I'll explain a little bit more. So we'll also go into our regalia. We're going to be using Grand Crusader's Ring, Nullifying Lantern, Chalice of Blood, Jewel of Enlightenment, and also Channeling Stone. So to kind of go over why we're using these picks, we're going to be using GCR because it's probably the best Divine Relic in the game so far. It's a very easy staple to have in any deck, being able to banish and draw one. It's a great card to play on your off turns. Nullifying Lanterns being used for those pesky aggro fire decks and also those Erupting decks, great card to have. Chalice of Blood is if you're at a point where your opponent kind of pushes you over 20 HP while you're Rai level 3, Rai level 2, and you're able to get some free draws, you might as well grab this. It's a free 2 draw. We also have Jewel Enlightenment because sometimes you always need that one additional Enlightenment counter that you may be missing. This card is nice just to put on the field if you don't have nothing else to materialize. And we'd be running Channeling Stone, so we have our spells to cost 2 less. We also have Terrafring in here, Wand of Frost, and Storm Tyrant's Eye. Reason why we're running these is Terrafring is a very great card to put when you're having a board that is wide. Your opponent's board is full of allies and you can't really deal with it. But since they dropped a whole bunch of allies, they have a low hand size, maybe 3 or 4 cards, meaning that they only can attack with 2 allies if you play Terrafring. Wand of Frost is just a good card if you have a ton of floating in your grave. You can just banish it, get a draw out, and any other attack that a tall ally or even the champion, may swing at you for, you're able to use this, banish it, -3. Storm Tyrant's Eye is kind of a risky pick in this deck. It kind of just gives you the card, the one arcane card that you really need, like desperately. So it's kind of like a last resort, risk over reward type of dealio. Alright, moving on, we're going to go to our main deck for our norm elements. We're going to be running 4 Dungeon Guides, 4 Fast Cures, and 3 Gentle Respites. Dungeon Guide is a staple in this deck. I mean, every other deck almost runs Dungeon Guides, having that free level up, not a free level up, but having a level up when you need to, essentially, because you're at risk of dying. This card is very much needed in this deck. Fast Cure is because most of the time when we're playing our cards responding to the opponent's boards, because this is a very reactive deck, we're going to be low on influence, we're going to be low on cards. Maybe we'll have 5 to 6 over their 8, 9, 10 cards. It could be very possible. So this is just an easy fast floating and also a free recover for us to use. And Gentle Respite for the same reason why we're playing Fast Cure, lower influence. It is essentially increasing danger without the dangers, I like to put it. So moving on to the water cards we have in this deck. We have 4 Frostward Paladins, 3 Frostbinder Apostles, 3 Snow Fairies, and 4 Freezing Hails. So Frostward Paladin being a great ally to have to clear the board as well as act as an interceptor, being able to banish a floating memory in our graveyard to get a buff counter plus 1 draw is a great addition to this deck. It just kind of stalls us, kind of lets us live a little bit longer, clear any allies that may be very detrimental to our plan or may be swinging us for too much value that we need to get off the board quick. Frostbinder Apostle kind of does the exact same thing that Paladin does. It is an interceptor, it removes allies quickly as you need it to be, so it's a great thing to have. Snow Fairy is a very interesting pick in this deck. The reason being is because, one, it seems like a very underplayed card in DOA, but now with the release of FTC, this card is actually extremely valuable. With cards such as Majestic Spirit or Crawl, you're able to really kind of stop these Vigor allies from waking back up, and you kind of want to stop that at a specific time. Snow Fairy will do the job for you. And Freezing Hail is a great fast speed damage spell that will also rest the champion if they are attacking, or any other unit. But specifically we want to use this for example, Lorraine or Merlin, who will swing at you for some damage, and you can stop them from swinging the next turn. A couple of the cards in the Water archetype, we're going to have 4 Chilling Touch, 4 Glacial Guidance, 3 Fracturize, and 4 Frostbind. Chilling Touch being a floating memory, a great turn 1 play to kind of manipulate their level ups in their memory, the opponent's memory, so that they kind of are put off balance and they have less of a hand advantage against you. Glacial Guidance is a great card for any tall allies that are swinging you for a ton of damage. Say for example 6 to 8 damage that you don't want to take, or you desperately cannot take that damage. Glacial Guidance gets you there, arrests the ally, and it also ends that combat phase. So for example, if there's any other effects on the stack when the attack is declared, you're able to play this card, stop the attack, and also banish any other cards during that combat phase that may be played. Fracturize is our main source of regalia removal, removing that pesky tithe that may get in our way, or any other regalia that may, benefit the opponents, such as like Sword Regalia. And Frostbind, the boogeyman of FTC, essentially being the 1 negate card that we have currently in Grand Archive. So this being an easy negate target card activation, but they have to react to it, meaning that if they want to play a specific card, they need to hold 2 more cards in their hand, which kind of they may not want to do, or they may be trying to risk a play thinking, oh, you don't have Frostbind. You play Frostbind and say, no, LMAO. So we're going to move on to our arcane cards. We're going to be running 4 Conduit of the Mad Mage. I know, kind of crazy. 3 Arcane Dispositions and 3 Arcane Sights. So once again, now we've seen Mana Weaver and now we see Conduit of the Mad Mage. Like, what, these are cards that are like never played, right? Surely you can't be serious. I promise you, just wait. Let me explain, because it is very, very core for this deck. Anyways, moving on to Arcane Disposition, a very core staple in any Arcane Element deck. For example, being able to draw 3 with this card, it's an amazing card to have. Arcane Sight for a free level up plus a card to cycle. We're going to go move on to the other Arcane cards we have. We have 3 Reckless Conversions, 3 Spellshade Arcanes, and 2 Anger Disguise. Reckless Conversion is our kind of buddy to Arcane Disposition. They combo off of each other very well. Being able to play like 3 Arcane Dispositions and then ending that with the Reckless Conversion, meaning that all those cards you just put into memory to draw, you're able to add that back to your hand, and it's a good time. Spellshade Arcane is a great defensive option for us once we get to level 3, being able to block any tall attacks, gaining lightning counters for that too, and preventing any kind of damage dealt to us. And then Anger Disguise, just for a quick board clear if we really need to buy that 1 extra turn. They're low on cards, but they have a really wide board. Anger Disguise will clear the board for us very quickly in times of desperation. So you may be wondering to yourself right now, why are we playing Mana Weaver over something like Stormseer? Well, there's a specific reason, and that being this specific part of the card text. Copy Mage Spell card activation. So for example, let's say you play Arcane Disposition. You draw 3 cards, right? That's normal. However, with this card, you're able to tap Rai, pay the 4 lightning counters, and copy a Mage Spell activation. So since Disposition is a Mage Spell, you're able to copy this card, and instead of drawing 3, you can copy the spell, and now you draw 6 cards. So on to the next part of the question. Why are we playing Conduit of the Mad Mage over cards like Arcane Blast, Erratic Bolt, or even Advent of the Stormcaller? Well, the reason being is because, we don't need any of them. We have freaking Conduit of the Mad Mage, and Conduit of the Mad Mage is the best fucking card this. Oh shit. I think my Choose Without's got the better of me there for a sec. But let's go ahead and move on and kind of explain how the combo works and what's the win con for this deck. So let's say you have a hand size of 12. You just played Arcane Disposition, Mana Weaver just copied that spell, and now you have a hand size of 12 after drawing 6. You pay 1 to play Conduit of the Mad Mage here. And to read Conduit of the Mad Mage and kind of explain what it does in detail is whenever you activate a Mage Spell action, wake up Conduit of the Mad Mage, and this card also gets +1 attack until the end of turn. So we'll kind of put an example here. Let's say you cast Arcane Sight, it being a Mage Spell action. Conduit will now gain +1 attack going from a 0-2 to a 1-2, and now you're readily able to swing with this card, right? So let's say you swing for 1 damage, that's great, the card resolves. And then you can play another cheap Mage Spell after that, right? Chilling Touch. It's a 1 cost, it's a Mage Spell. Conduit will now gain +1 attack, and now you're able to swing for 2 damage now. Say you cast another cheap 1 cost Mage Spell, right? Now Conduit has 3 attack, it's waking up, and you can swing again, right? And you can see where this is going, right? You can play very cheap cost Mage Spells, and then Conduit will just keep swinging for a lot of damage. And to put it even more better, right? You can play Reckless Conversion at the when you have no cards in hand or a couple cards. You can play this card, gather up all the cards you just paid into memory, and you can now start swinging constantly with Conduit, right? So if we kind of add up the numbers just based off of you swinging in between each specific spell, you'll actually be doing 21 damage in total for just 6 spell casts, which is an insane damage number to be doing in one turn. To kind of go further into detail why I decided to choose Conduit the Mad Mage over traditional choices such as Arcane Blast or Erratic Bolt for the win con is because that people don't really expect Conduit the Mad Mage when they play against Rai. They'll probably have regalia such as like Bespawn Boots or Safeguard Amulets that will kind of deny you playing a lot of spells, Spell Shroud and stuff like that. This kind of catches them off guard and realize that, oh, they're not going to kill me with spells, I'm going to die to a Conduit. And it's pretty funny to see that unfold. So to kind of dive deeper into how Conduit really works and what the mechanics are behind it, we'll kind of give a brief demonstration here. So let's say we play Chilling Touch, it being a Mage Spell, it's also a slow speed. Conduit will see that a Mage Spell has been played, it will gain +1 attack. So let's just say we attack for 1 damage at the enemy champion. Conduit will try to do 1 damage, however in response to the Conduit attack, we're able to play a fast speed Mage Spell action, right? Conduit will now recognize on the stack saying, oh, a Mage Spell has been played. I will gain +1 attack and I'll wake up. Combat will then resolve. They will take 2 damage and Conduit is now ready again to swing. So you can see where this is going, right? You can now swing again for 2 damage, play a fast speed spell on top of that, and then Conduit will now gain another +1 attack and wake up. So if we optimize it properly, we'll end up doing 27 damage over 21 damage. So imagine them OTKing by only 6 spells if they're played at fast speed over just playing them at slow speed, only doing 21 damage. So with that information, I'm going to go ahead and give us a gameplay demonstration of how Conduit can be played, how it should be played, how the combo works, how to kind of pilot this deck, and kind of how to see the win con with this deck and how cool this deck can actually be and catch a lot of people off guard. Okay, no, there's still a way. Potentially there's still a way. Okay, there's still a way to win this. Put 3 down. Frostward Paladin. On enter, banish Chilling Touch, drawing 1.
Okay.
Also Lorraine's tapped, right?
Getting a counter?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay. We'll pay 1 for a Conduit here.
What the hell? What am I looking at?
We're gonna Reckless here, gaining 1 here.
Yep.
And then drawing 2 into memory, shuffling, banishing 4. There goes a Fracturize, who cares? Recollecting this. On Conduit, swing you for 1, but on swing, we're gonna go ahead and pay 2 here. To Freezing Hail, and on Freezing Hail cast, we'll copy that, so we'll do 4 to you. And then this will wake up. This will swing for 2, but on swing... Wait, hold on. No, sorry. One swing. Swing 1 first here with Dungeon Guide. Swing 2, then on swing we'll pay 1, we'll play Glacial Guidance on Dungeon Guide. This will wake up and you'll deal 3. This will swing for 3 damage. Again. And then swing for 4.
Okay. Alright, lethal.
Let's go! The battery acid is still good. Alright, so I will pay 1 to play Conduit here. I will also pop Channeling Stone. So next one I cast will be 2. I will pay 1 to play Dispel. Response to Dispel. Alright, cool. Gain a counter for that. We'll tap Mana Weaver here, so we'll copy Dispel, drawing 6. Arcane, I mean, Conduit will gain +1 attack. Let's see. I will swing at your champion, but on swing, I will pay 1 to Glacial Guidance your Frostward Paladin, resting it. I will gain 2 counters, +1 Enlightenment counter. You'll swing for you for 2 damage. This will wake up. I will swing at you for 2, but on swing, I'll play Arcane Sight, drawing 1. This swings at you for 3. I will swing at you for 3 damage. I will pay 3 to play Dispel, drawing 3, waking up. This gains another attack. I will swing at you for 4, but on swing, I will pay 2, Freezing Hail you for 2 damage. And then this will wake up, hitting you for 5. Condo will now swing for 5. I will now play Reckless, draw 2, and that should be game. Spanish 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We collect, wake up, and then we'll swing for 5. Alright, GG's, thank you.